So let us therefore begin with the first match of the round of 16 between FreakinAndy and SaladEsc. We're gonna be starting on Lagoon as the very first map, and that is a map that we definitely do recognize from other tournaments. Yeah, well, this is fairly common occurrence that we have already gotten the the honors of seeing. So this is something that we kind of do know how it's supposed to be played, and there is going to be, of course, a bit of a challenge that you might be wanting to go for the middle water, but at the same time you just can't be getting out of it with boats. So therefore you might want to be careful, because if you do that, you overcommit, and your opponent is gonna be a bit more committing to the outside, because that's usually fully connected, and therefore you can control it with the boats. Then you might be on a shorter end of the stick and rope and whatever along those lines, because you simply won't be able to really defend at all. And obviously boats against just like any kind of villages, that's usually quite a sad story in the early stages. We have, for example, even seen in one of the previous games what the demo ships can be doing on these hybrid maps. That's the word I was looking for, that I couldn't remember the first few games. Hybrid maps. Well, finally it actually came in. Yeah. Okay, so hybrid maps, that's what I need to remember. Okay, so Crocodile at 340. So therefore these are gonna be right now the aggressive animals here, supposed to do normal piggies or, I don't know, some rhinos, elephants, whatever. So with the Civilisations, they are going to be free hidden pig, no repeat. So that's gonna be one of the rare tournaments where you don't have to be drafting and playing some suboptimal civilizations. You're simply gonna be playing what you think is gonna be powerful for you. So apparently FreakinAndy is putting the trust into Dravidians. Yeah, well, that's a bit of a problem, because the crocodile is gonna be attacking on its own. It's not like the boar that's gonna be letting you be. Seems like that FreakinAndy is slightly confused by that concept. I'm not entirely certain if actually FreakinAndy has played in the tournaments on these maps that we have streamed before. Or maybe not. Kinda looks like it, maybe not, because otherwise he probably would be remembering this little specific detail for them. As otherwise SaladEsc is gonna be playing with the Byzantines, and he seems to be kinda aiming for the mid. So far just scouting that only. FreakinAndy is gonna be already building the dock. That's a really good goal, by the way, for SaladEsc. And apparently he's gonna be a bit more acquainted with what the map brings and what the map is, as far as the extra food here. So you're gonna be having 14-14 between the Villagers, and therefore not any kind of disaster yet. But it was pretty close in there for FreakinAndy, and he of course already caused himself quite a bit of idle time, considering he had to be defending the will from the wildlife. But we're gonna be therefore getting into the docks maybe a bit later. Oh, maybe. It's gonna be a bit later, but still doesn't have to be any kind of real disaster. Even if you be advancing those, I don't know, half a minute later, then before the boats are gonna be even crossing, it's gonna be somewhat fine. He is gonna be fine, so it's gonna be more dependent on actually how many villages they're gonna be going through upon. And maybe in the meantime, we can probably have a look onto the draft. And I've already right now secured that. So there we are. This is gonna be right now the draft available with the Delta and Water Nomad as the home maps for FreakinAndy. And for SaladEsc, he's gonna be having the Lansoa Maranhenses. I'm not entirely certain how it's supposed to be pronounced, because it's kinda like halfway almost French, but it's gonna be just like Brazilian Portuguese, I guess. So that's gonna be probably even Lansoas Maranhenses, I guess. Anybody feel free to correct me. I'm just kinda guessing here. Unfortunately, do not speak Portuguese. But Pandora and Lagoon are gonna be the next map. So yeah, Lagoon is gonna be the first to be played, and then we're gonna be seeing, well, which kind of home maps are gonna be selected. As again, we don't currently have any kind of draft for Civilisations, because Civilisations are free hidden pig. So people players don't have to be bothering with those. We just can't be repeating within the match, so you're gonna better be aware what kind of maps are, or what Civilisations are good on which maps, to keep them for maybe later. But okay, that's gonna be there for the first advance, currently going by Orange. He's gonna be at 24 villas. You can see like one more than SaladEsc for the time being, as he's gonna be having the Loom on the other side. It's gonna be Loom as well. quite nice and clean garrison and garrison, not losing any kind of seconds at all. With 20-second difference, which is gonna be still meaning that therefore FreakinAndy is like legitimately one village ahead. Is it because of fishing? 4 and 3. Yeah, okay. It's one extra fishing boat. Nothing more to it. Nothing really more to it whatsoever. As a villager, I was kind of looking if SaladEsc is gonna be wanting to fight it or not. Because obviously usually the clear signal is if you're gonna be having one dog now, you maybe gonna be trying to fake it a bit, but you just kinda not interested in battling it too seriously. So this is gonna be right now quite a clear answer. That you're gonna be having a huge water battle in the middle, which is not frankly entirely too common amongst experienced players on this map from what I remember. Usually people are gonna be a bit more focusing on the outskirts and just kinda like seeing, yeah, well, if there's gonna be some kind of small fight, sure, but usually nothing too extreme, but this time it's gonna be the exact opposite. So probably huge water battle number 1, and they're gonna be probably having to also go for the big water battle number 2 after once, well, it's gonna be time for the dogs on the outskirts, right? And control the ways into the bases, as it's gonna be right now losing the will finally, FreakinAndy. And he still should be having therefore the guy, yep, there he is. Almost dead from the crocodile, so that's gonna be possibly also quite nice target for SaladEsc if he's gonna be of course able to notice him. That's not entirely that much of a given. That is not that much of a given though. As advice for the settings, not sure if I mentioned that here at the start of this game. We are in the round of 16, so this is gonna be already the first round of double elimination part of the tournament, so whoever is gonna be losing here is still gonna be able to have a second chance. Nice, you can see trap for the scout of FreakinAndy, nicely played by SaladEsc, and we are going to be having a best of 5 here. So we are looking for 3 victories, but you probably could have guessed that from the amount of maps that we actually had selected for the draft, of course. So that's not entirely that much of an important information, I guess. But well, whatever the case, looking at some kind of upgrades, you're gonna be having just the first wood currently available for FreakinAndy. Also, you know, the problematic part that I right now can't be switching over due to hotkeys is that we're gonna be constantly switching away on the POV of the player, so therefore like completely away from where we were. I really don't understand why the hell they removed actually the switching hotkey. Like, what is up with that? Or did it just kind of like that changed? Maybe it's gonna be worthwhile to have a look at. If maybe they don't get retasked for something else, and that's therefore blocking some kind of like innate hotkey, but it just wasn't in the options, so that's weird. Ah well, whatever. Again, as I mentioned, they ruined Search 2 patches ago. Right now they maybe ruined the recorded games for the Observant. So, kind of hotkeys for the Observant, so good job, I guess, by the devs. They do know what they're doing in there, it looks like. But well, at any rate, this is gonna be quite a powerful victory for FreakinAndy. Doesn't seem like it's SaladEsc. He's still trying, but frankly, I'm not entirely all that certain that he's gonna be actually kind of like able to even overturn it. Can see 2 fire galleys. On the other side, he's just gonna be having so many galleys already that there's a very little chance that in the first place there's gonna be really a kind of purpose in this. And that's also maybe the time where SaladEsc could be maybe already starting to think about how to drop the dogs on the outskirts and try to switch the water battle there. Because again, if you're gonna be having the boats here, you can't be teleporting them in any kind of way into the outside. So that's why you don't want to be really committing us overly much. And I'm thinking that FreakinAndy has already overcommitted way too hard, and you can see he's dropping more and more boats still. So yeah, enjoy your boats, enjoy your fish. That's gonna be a really good boost still, especially since he managed to get the victory this early. But it doesn't necessarily have to be entirely much of a smart investment yet. Or yet. Doesn't have to be such a smart investment therefore without any kind of addendum in there. SaladEsc is having, yeah, I was kind of looking, he was having actually really long idle time in there, not doing anything at all, and apparently the reason is that he wants to be already reaching the castle age. Third, the dogs, he might be losing like 1 if actually FreakinAndy is gonna be focusing it. But with this amount of boats, I don't think there's too much of a reason for him to be even trying to fight, even in the castle age. But really, the outside is gonna be a lot more... there we go. A lot more making sense. Yes, yes, yes. This is right now absolutely correct approach in my opinion. And he's gonna be pretty close to Andy. You can see he's not even entirely all that aware. So obviously if you, again, if they had experience with this map, they would be already walling the map a whole lot earlier, because you can practically wall it all off. Because it's shallows, so therefore hybrid terrain, you can build upon it. So you can completely block it off and not allow anybody to go through, which is something that you need to be doing, and you're usually gonna be doing it with stone walls. To disallow any kind of early and quick switch. No, and currently still actually making some further... Yeah, you can see right now FreakinAndy is gonna be reacting to the fact that actually SaladEsc has added some further flags, and that's pretty smart. I mean, like, Salad is gonna be apparently making a few more boats still, but not entirely there. He's gonna be having the further docks to the top side to further confuse FreakinAndy. It's very well played by the Danish player. And it's, you can see right now, quite nicely working, because it's forcing FreakinAndy to get more and more boats, and he's just like absolutely overcommitting here. Really hardcore, and I'm looking forward how Salad is gonna be able to maybe utilize it for some direct assault here to the top. Can see some fire ships of his own here, and on top of it he's gonna be getting even the mangonel. Kinda slightly wondering if maybe the fire galleys are gonna be necessarily the best course of action here. If possibly it would be maybe a bit nicer to get himself normal galleys. Maybe that wouldn't have been some kind of better option. But look at that massive overcommitment. So many boats. Like you can see 9, and this is gonna be some 6, 8, but like 17 boats you actually have here. Maybe even more than that. For absolutely not much of a reason. But well, at least here all the way on the other side, we are gonna be surprising FreakinAndy. He was confident to go for the gold, but nope, that is not the case. And did he lose the resources? Oh, he did. He did. Oh, he absolutely did actually lose the TC. Or did he already build a new one? No, I think he didn't. Yep, he lost the resources on the TC. So that was very well played there by SaladEsc. FreakinAndy just completely surprised. He wasn't expecting that to be there at all. So he probably just gonna click randomly TC. And it's kinda funny how he actually hit exactly into the middle of the buildings, but they're just lucky coincidence, of course. And therefore could be starting, and Salad could be then, of course, destroying it with the mangonel. But then he was just like immediately switching into the water battle back down. No, and well, surprise came. Okay, so apparently Dravidian is gonna be right now relying upon monkeys, which is, I guess, some kind of idea. Just gonna be also having to get himself... I was going to say redemption, but Dravidians do not actually have that. So he's not gonna be able to do too much with it. Second wood and first gold by the way on his account. And we're gonna be having also some kind of funny forward build by FreakinAndy. So it seems like that, well, SaladEsc wasn't the only one with the attempt here. Kinda like in the volume, because it's right about now allowing him, of course, to not only right now convert, but he's gonna be also able to heal quite well the units running around, so it was not entirely too much of a bad play either. With the Portuguese in here, but with 2 more ships already coming up, seems like it maybe FreakinAndy could be surviving this for the time being. No, but this is actually kinda heavy barrage. It's somewhat hard to deal with for escape. I'm actually waiting for some demo ships here, so that he can be possibly getting rid of the enemy, kinda like the converted boats, and he can be potentially also getting some very nice snipes, maybe even onto some villages repairing here. That's the demo ship from the others. Oh, okay, that wasn't a bad one. He was probably having some better pocket a bit deeper in there, but nonetheless, the demo ships here are gonna be also making pretty good sense. That's the dog, by the way. Here to the south, as on the other side of the map, still just a villager, random mangonel, and nothing too serious. And the gold is gonna be lasting for quite some time still. So he doesn't need to be worried, I guess, SaladEsc about moving forward for the next one. But even the next one is quite a bit doable. And the one here to the right just kind of like needs to be getting rid of the mangonel and then drop in some, I don't know, easy, maybe even TC. Let's see what kind of resources he's gonna be having. So I'm on the demo ship right now for Endos. So far actually pretty decent work for FreakinAndy as far as the micro on the conversions. That's not really looking too bad. Okay. Almost actually got it. He was kind of like hoping to get actually both of them. He got, I think, some kind of glancing hit into the bottom one still. So it wasn't that terrible. And right now the TC probably could be even able to finish the job if it's gonna be just stopping somewhere for a moment. Mangonel is gone. Looking at the villages, FreakinAndy is gonna be at only 39 currently. You can see right now 46 for SaladEsc. 46 currently for him, which is a really nice advantage that he has. And it's gonna be looking like he's gonna be wanting, no, could be just even TC to begin with, but the castle will be of course quite a bit and supremely excellent. If he managed to drop it even somewhere here on top of the hill, even better. But that's probably gonna be asking quite a bit. Or maybe he could be trying to drop the castle here on the other base actually. I mean, like the gold, as he mentioned earlier, it's gonna be somewhat okay for the next minutes, but he still needs to be having some plan to go for the next. And so far, SaladEsc doesn't entirely have that locked in, as he's gonna be having some apparently faraway villages on both wood and also some scouters. Probably trying to find maybe some kind of the gold. We do have one in the very corner of the map to the right. With TC gone, so well played. And looking at the stone, yeah, that's apparently looking like he's gonna be happy just to get at least the town center finished. You can see 43 for FreakinAndy. SaladEsc is gonna be at 48. Yeah, that's gonna be a whole lot better currently. That is the end of the fun for the monk, unfortunately for him. And he still needs to be right now running, of course, on the diagonal so that the boats can't hit him directly. Well played. Well done, well played. And he's still gonna be having the 9 range against only 7. So if he's gonna be around, he might be still getting lucky on some conversions anyway. With 2 monks, unfortunately, for FreakinAndy. Not entirely having the success, and that was a pretty good dodge. Nice. Mangonel, bit of a damage into the fire ship there as well. But this is actually really nicely played by Salad. Not entirely too much of a common way how to play Lagoon, but definitely enjoying it. As it was just like absolutely evident that FreakinAndy especially wasn't entirely all that familiar with this type of map and therefore what to do here. And especially with kind of like how usual progress of this map is. So you can see he was surprised on so many levels, and now he's just kind of like somehow trying to keep his chances up. 43 wills against 51 from SaladEsc, and that is of course including all the fishing boat that FreakinAndy has. All the fishing boats, but that's it's actually literally 5. And here I was thinking he's gonna be having some deeper echo when he's already secured it for himself. Nothing further here to the left flank. Not too much. Just kind of like further information. And that's gonna be SaladEsc maybe a bit riskily on the gold without any protection whatsoever. Would be hoping for at least some town center for himself, but apparently he's not even gathering any kind of stone for anything along those lines. No, and the villagers not entirely having too much of a good luck against all the mangonels. They are of course constantly covered by the fire ships, so that's why it's actually fairly kind of like funny and also quite a fun and powerful combination. Again, I really don't remember anybody else on Lagoon actually doing this. This is actually a good idea by SaladEsc. Still gonna be having some further food here, or kind of food wood, but yeah, well, if the mangonels are gonna be making their way there, it's not really gonna be anything too safe for Orange. As he's gonna be dropping into a deeper and deeper hole. And yeah, oh man, that's gonna be waiting for a complete disaster of course here. Wait, the mangonel just needs to be making it all the way in. And all the, how many? 7 villages are gonna be straight dead. So it's gonna be FreakinAndy wanting to run, because he should be wanting to run as soon as possible. as currently he's getting completely and utterly murdered here, absolutely everywhere. I'm not entirely certain how he's still having 40 villages, but I guess good job. That was like one hit, and there was a second here. Yep. But nonetheless, doesn't seem like that FreakinAndy is exactly in the mindset of giving up. Can say it now, he does have some ideas maybe how to proceed, even though really the economical differences are getting a bit scary. And we don't have any kind of infinite fish, as in Age of Mythology. That could be maybe right now justifying all the hopes that FreakinAndy could be having. Because he's still gonna be... I mean, like, he does have some kind of deep fish anyway for next, I don't know, 10-15 minutes at minimum. But then, of course, the farming is gonna be already costing wood fairly regularly. Or kind of farming. No, fish farming, let's say. And it's very curious that FreakinAndy is still, for some reason, having high score. I guess it's gonna be because of the military on the left. Or kind of left from now, so therefore in the middle of the map, where he has actually won the water battle fairly comfortably. With New Dock, yes, but rather New TC finished for Andy. He's gonna wait now, getting a bit better, and he really just, like, in my opinion, needs to be getting some higher amount of demos. And hoping for some good hits, with possibly some monks on top of it as well. As you can see, the Byzantine SaladEsc, economically he's gonna be only on the first wood. And I do kind of wonder if maybe he's having even redemption, by the way. If maybe he's not entirely a bit resting on the laurels, because he's probably feeling and thinking that the game is kinda close to be decided. But in reality, well, as you can tell, FreakinAndy is having quite some different thoughts about it. And that's probably maybe even letting SaladEsc not to be playing to 100% capacity. He could be maybe playing a bit more, but seems to be doing well enough. So tough to say. Just kinda like maybe thinking that some extra town center for him already some time ago would probably go a long way towards securing his further progress in the match. Okay, getting some... Are we getting them? Oh, we getting demo ship exactly here. I'm not gonna be switching into point of view not to miss it. That was a very good demo. That's gonna be pretty good demo number 2. It wasn't as good as it could have been, but this was still fairly nice. I guess this is gonna be also a nice moment for possibly some screenshot even here. We haven't taken anything yet today. Oh, that's gonna be very good demo. 3 mangonels gone, and well, this village is not gonna be able to work with the last one. Possibly could have been killing the other. 38 villages against 45, and that's because we're also gonna be having some counter attack to the south. And we are basically like stealing villages, it looks like. Maybe that's some kind of idea. And I need to be switching into right now FreakinAndy to be having some better understanding of his economy in general. That's a very good quick conversion here. I'm going to be probably the end of all the mangonels. So while the army was actually looking fairly impressive just a moment ago, well, it seems like it's not gonna be entirely as much anymore. And that's the atonement. I was kind of thinking if he's gonna be trying to go for that, because he can then have some kind of good battles against the monks. That, of course, SaladEsc is not gonna be entirely able to fix. And that's gonna be the problem with the gold. Because you can say now... No. Oh man, if he's gonna be getting right now some demo ship here... Yeah, SaladEsc already trying to split them, of course. And... What? Did he panic? That did he panic that he actually heard conversion sound and he forgot that it was his own monk? What the hell? What the hell was actually that? I think he did panic there a bit. He didn't realize that it wasn't his monk actually who was converting. Because there wasn't any kind of threat whatsoever. But looking at the armies, 25 currently for FreakinAndy. Really? Oh, well, really, actually. Because still the middle, right? You mustn't underestimate that, but it's gonna be about 2 million boats in there. And practically almost nothing on the outskirts. It's just gonna be having a few monks and that's practically it. And are we building something here or not? Just gonna look in the migration of the villages if maybe we somehow got on a castle, but nope. Nothing like that. Nothing like that for him. You can say now that's gonna be also another market. And the town center has been destroyed. Now he's gonna be looking potentially to place a new one. as it seems like he has also returned to the previous crime scene. Not sure what these wheels are gonna be trying to do. Looks like maybe some kind of TC as well here to the top, possibly. But you're gonna be seeing that a bit later. Definitely looks like that we're gonna be maybe wanting to get some kind of castle for the fight. And for the control of the map. But so far, it looks like that actually blue is gonna be not even doing anything. So is he wanting to get mythical? Nah, it's no Imperial Age for him at all. But the conversions so far are apparently really doing quite some God's work at this point for Andy. 25-6, practically nothing for SaladEsc. And I probably need to be counting how many boats we have here. So it's gonna be 8. Okay, it's gonna select it all now. That's gonna be 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. About like 19 boats in the middle. 19 boats in the middle. That's gonna be therefore meaning about 7 in total. SaladEsc kind of units on the outskirts, which is practically the same as what we have from Salad. Okay. That could be also right now using some kind of demo ship from practically both players, it has to be said. Practically from both of the players. As economically still about 23 extra currently from SaladEsc. And we need to be looking potentially back here down, where really there's plenty of opportunities currently to attack Salad because we just don't have enough wall in. And I think that's a bit of a mistake here, because unless something changed, you should be able to build on the mangroves here and normal like stone walls, for example. And at that point, nobody is gonna be getting through to you like these 5 ships. Absolutely nobody would be. Okay, extra TC 2 and 3. Seems to be a nice beginning here. But it also kind of looks like that apparently SaladEsc is slightly realizing that, well, this game kind of should have been already his. But his opponent is gonna be quite a bit protesting. So he's therefore feeling that he still can be having somewhat of a game to be had. But it doesn't entirely seem like he's gonna be dropping entirely the TCs to keep himself on some good economy. With demo waiting for opportunity, nothing really in the middle. And quite a quick execution of the monk. Just gonna see if maybe he's gonna be able to survive long enough to get the conversion in. But nope, he died probably even faster than Mr. Janhus. Probably did. But we are probably gonna be having to maybe even start to be thinking what's gonna be happening next, because currently seems like that SaladEsc is slightly out of breath, and that's why he's also switching to the 2nd and 3rd TC so that he can be just kind of like rolling it with the echo. You can say right now 18 villages currently more, but he has practically no military whatsoever. He's having literally 3 units, which is gonna be, I guess, maybe some monk and possibly something else, as the Byzantine is getting ready with a castle on the gold. It's gonna be impossible to get rid of for the time being. With even wheelbarrow, for example, for FreakinAndy. That's how fancy he is getting here. And he's having 3 town centers as well currently. So that's gonna be where even? 1, 2... Where the hell is the last one? Well, FreakinAndy currently not entirely aware what is going on here. Right now he is. And he actually did manage to drop the TC right on top of where SaladEsc wanted to be actually getting the gold. He still does have some extra resources, so not like he's gonna be completely out of the game. Not really, but he is not entirely at this point doing kinda like the best. And we're gonna be probably getting some decent demo ship onto the Stonies. That's not too terrible. 3 villages. He was probably hoping to get like those 4 in there. So this is a decent result. Keeping the difference. Keeping the difference. Like the difference is quite a bit growing. You can see it now 27 and getting higher still. So SaladEsc is a lot more diligent in producing new wells. And he's gonna be probably dropping a castle soon. Kinda like how he's having absolutely like free day here. Unfortunately exploding kinda randomly. Into the TC. mYi can actually get even into the TC, it looks like. Even when it's gonna be shooting with him with plenty villages in.
Sorry.
Brave village is just gonna get destroyed. And on the left side, nothing really too much new here. Just really looks like it. Unfortunately, Salad as yet really quite excellent first. Let's say maybe 35-40 minutes of the game. And now it's becoming significantly worse. And let's see if we're gonna be getting enough of an info here. So it's gonna be one explosion there. And the second wasn't too good. He just kinda should have been going for a classic pincer move. One top, second bottom. Probably could have been killing most of them. Most probably could have been all of them gone. No, and with the castle right now already coming down for FreakinAndy, that's gonna be not much of a good news for SaladEsc, as it's gonna be blocking him on at least some of the rest. But at least he's gonna be having enough to drop his own in there. That's one of the more important parts, because otherwise you'll be just gonna having free reign of whatever is going on here. Just kind of like randomly thinking that it would be maybe interesting if you could be having some effect that castles, for example, on difficult terrains like this would be taking longer to make. Because you do have kind of like the terrain that... Okay, oh, that's a lot of villages dead in there. Just out of nowhere, since Escape wasn't paying attention. But I wanted to say that if you already have the terrain, kind of cracked one from the... I think the African kingdoms, right? That is reducing the hit points of the buildings built upon it. Then maybe if you could be also having something like slower build time on, you can see the shallows or whatnot, as opposed to building on some solid ground. Maybe even it could be holding true for sand and whatnot. Yeah, just some totally random thoughts I'm currently having with random conversion as well. And this is probably gonna be also another good candidate for some demo ships. But in the meantime, SaladEsc is gonna be apparently readying himself for the cavalry. 29 villages still less for FreakinAndy, but he's of course the one who's gonna be having some military. But again, with about like 19 irrelevant in the middle, he's having some 12 versus 9. It's not entirely that much of a big difference anymore. It's a bit of a problem, because if, of course with the high pierce resistance that the boats have, it's hard for the TC to really kind of put any kind of serious dent into them. So it's gonna be a better decision for the villagers to simply abandon the place. And does FreakinAndy even actually know about this gold mine here? Oh, he doesn't. He actually hasn't scouted that, so therefore he doesn't entirely know. He's having fairly good rest that he could still go to, because otherwise he doesn't have anything all that turbo save here. It's gonna be another interesting gold mine he can potentially go to and go for anyway. And he's gonna be also happy to survive, apparently it seems like, on stealing currently from Escape. Quite a bit happily so. You can say it now, economical upgrades for FreakinAndy at almost 1 hour of game time are going to be right now the first line. And then both saw. Military wise it's gonna be of course quite a bit dull, since we are fighting literally with just boats. And for SaladEsc, he is going to be currently economically where? No, actually a lot lower. As the first lines on the basic foodwood and wheelbarrow. Is there gonna be somebody even able to get Imperial Age? So far, no. Seems like that Escape just kinda needs to be fixing his economy. He is getting in way too much wood, by 50 villages. Need to be switching it into some other resources. As you can see though, he's having some serious problems right now brewing, with FreakinAndy controlling the whole, or kind of like whole, most of the left side, which is gonna be making for complications of this party once the wood lines are gonna be running out in several minutes. Otherwise, at least on the other flank we do have some decent, actually outstanding resources that maybe FreakinAndy could be taking if he really wanted to. FreakinAndy and also SaladEsc. So basically, either of them could be having some kind of good place and kind of good time with those. Otherwise, FreakinAndy is also not entirely getting ready for the Imperial Age yet. Just apparently having some random cleanups, and that was a decent demo ship FreakinAndy surviving with even a defensive tower in place soon. And well, on the wheel, still absolutely massive difference in there right now, still growing 35 in favor of Salad, but he's really not able to really do anything significant with that, and he's having 2 TCs with 12 villages in each of them. So he's having, what, 25? So he's having really millions and millions of food in there. He's having 1250 villages, food, sorry, 1250 food in villages that he can be possibly using maybe for even advancing. So he's to be noticing it, and he's actually constantly clicking new ones. So you need to be probably looking all the way to the right, where we had, not like one conversion I heard, but otherwise it doesn't seem to be going entirely as hot. Maybe it was a conversion even from the other side, possibly. The PC seems to be definitely getting closer to get destroyed. And do we have a dock? Not really. There is one, so potentially some demo ships could be helping out, as that's a very random right now. Very random villager here, probably after building the outpost, so not entirely certain what her role is gonna be in this effort. Not really 100% sure about that. But you're gonna be also having some randomly converted villager here, and not only one in the midst of the enemy. They can potentially be maybe even some suiciders possibly there, trying to maybe drop some kind of tower out of nowhere. And seeing if SaladEsc is gonna be noticing, but well, the stone is somewhat of a rare resource currently. So probably FreakinAndy shouldn't be wasting too much time on that, and shouldn't be wasting too much of it, and should be rather thinking about, well, getting maybe the further castle and further map control through that. It's like immediately taking the run, but that's not only because of the villages, as of course because of the monk in there. And that's the Imperial Age from Salad. Can see still the difference practically the same. Oh, practically it's slightly getting better in favor of FreakinAndy. It's still gonna be like 25. Military wise, of course, evident, since we don't have practically any kind of army for blue so far. Who's gonna be getting himself infantry. Infantry is coming forward from SaladEsc as the Byzantine, really. No, he seems to be going for right now the pikemen. Okay, that's some kind of plan, I guess. As we have already reached over the 1 hour of game time. No, and this DC is gonna be a whole lot harder to get rid of, considering also the protection from the castle. But that's of course the big question, how long this is gonna be standing here, considering that soon we're gonna be having trebuchets. Just gotta be careful, because there is the demo ship right now still hidden here. So there is some kind of chance that maybe if he's not careful enough, the first trebuchet could be just gonna going straight into it and getting torn to pieces and blown up. Okay, looks like some kind of solid trade here. No, and actually FreakinAndy is getting dangerously close on the echo. He's only 11 villages behind, plus kind of like the 5 for the advance into the Imperial Age. But FreakinAndy, that's a castle. Yes, that is actually a castle here. It's gonna be going on here on the left. It's gonna be plenty of the farms, of course, getting idled as well. There we go. Seems to be working quite a bit fine here for Andy. No, and now it really just kind of seems to be quite a bit open. Sure, SaladEsc still should be having some kind of economical edge, but he really, his best chance was like half an hour ago already, when he was kind of controlling the right base. But he just kind of like didn't have enough kind of like outlook to the bottom, and he just kind of like wasn't expecting that FreakinAndy is going to be still continuing fighting. He was kind of thinking it's a best of 5. He's just gonna be giving up on that, but well, it is the first game, so I guess his winning mentality and kind of competitive mentality won out. And it seems like it so far for pretty good reason, because the fight, while it's definitely not over, it is certainly looking somewhat promising that FreakinAndy might be actually able to even make it through. As currently we're gonna be even getting ahead 98 versus 88, as they have already destroyed enough villages around, as it seems like it. Well, that was just some demo ship, an elephant. Getting rid of the hit points for the castle. But of course the trebuchets, that's gonna be a whole different story with SaladEscapes and for SaladEscapes time. Nice raiding on the left by some Urumi swordsmen. And that's even more villages actually trying to transition all the way maybe to the bottom corner, it looks like. And you can see now, unfortunately, FreakinAndy is just going to be missing them. Probably would have seen that little snake here, but we don't have anything in the corner. So it's gonna be just like wide open for FreakinAndy to abuse as well. And he, at least, is gonna be having somewhat of a maybe safe time here, because again, FreakinAndy has absolutely no idea that this is gonna be right now currently going on. Or are we actually switched? Yes. I was kinda thinking if we are switched or not, but that's the one Urumi swordsman in the middle. They're just gonna be unfortunately completely giving up what SaladEscape is up to, so they should have been destroyed before. And unfortunately it seems like that he did not entirely notice. At least the spearmen or other pikemen currently from SaladEscape are gonna be able to tackle at least a few of the villages. But with the Urumi swordsmen absolutely everywhere, it's not entirely looking like it's gonna be lasting effect. And with FreakinAndy currently at 107 villages, with 85 for SaladEscape, yeah, we already are starting to feel that this game is gonna be probably after quite a long time tilting towards the player from Austria. Okay then, so that's gonna be it about now. The position here also secure. All the way to the bottom. Well, really, some kind of surprise barracks from back by SaladEscape. Yeah, it's kind of like the problem, because he doesn't have access to any kind of reasonable gold. Can say now there's finally at least gonna be a TC to the top corner, where he could be getting some good fun. And can be therefore producing something more reasonable than only pikemen, which obviously won't be cutting it for him in any kind of way and shape and capacity. And could be probably going a bit deeper. Yeah, of course, to clean up the villages here even further with about 82 for Salad. The FreakinAndy is gonna be at 107. So where are the times where maybe that was exactly turned around? But the castle is certainly looking like it might be actually even possibly drop in. Way too many currently armored elephants coming forward with even, oh well, gonna be getting some squires so that the Urumi swordsman will be faster for Andy. Of course, continue with the monks. So, it's not gonna be entirely that easy yet, but it really feels like it also FreakinAndy is maybe even trying to close the game if he can in the Castle Age. It's not entirely even rushing into the Imperial Age or trying to get there. Considering the echo that he has, he probably could be at this point saving the resources fairly quickly if he really seriously wanted to. So far, not the case. You can see only 1-1 on the pikeman, and we're gonna be getting potentially a few more conversions here, having plenty of dudes all around. Seems like that maybe only one is gonna be dying. Could have been probably healing him if FreakinAndy was having enough of a presence of mind here to the right, but I guess he was also slightly tackling different tasks and topics a bit elsewhere. So unfortunately, SaladEscape only one trap, because one trap can be quite a bit easily out-repaired. Even two can be out-repaired, even though it's a bit more difficult. Only with the three, it's becoming pretty much impossible and in general unviable. I seem to be also checking out what's going on all across the board, with apparently some unending battle between some pikemen and Urumi swordsmen. Yeah, well, this is of course one of the main bases for SaladEscape as far as the army goes. All the way to the south, still can see more pikemen. Just kinda like, at this point, SaladEscape is absolutely refusing to believe that he is in kinda like the lower chances at this point on the victory in general. Like trying to absolutely anything that he can, but yeah, well, he's unfortunately already dropped to like half the villages. Then FreakinAndy, after 1 hour and 50 minutes of game time, You can see 62, well 60 right now, 121, 23 units for SaladEsc, FreakinAndy at 43, and still gonna be having probably on the water, right? I think not entirely that much here in the midst. Not met that much and that many. And even you can see some fancy guard towers coming forward from Andy. But yeah, we're looking at, for example, the elites already coming forward. It's not looking very likely that this town center is gonna be having such a long lifespan. Even though, for example, the pikemen exactly here are quite an excellent addition. But it's also why we have, for example, the tower here helping out. The village is gonna be able to actually bring them down in time. It's still gonna be having somewhat of a nice effect because the tower, if he had a bit more villages in there, are gonna be of course able to pull down maybe quite a few bills as the TC is still standing. But it did definitely cost quite a few resources for Salad. You can see so far FreakinAndy from mYi.FreakinAndy is gonna be fairly nicely spread on the wood and food. Whereas for SaladEsc, he's gonna be apparently quite a bit depleted all around and just kind of like looking randomly if we do have some forgotten armies somewhere. And it almost looks like that he does. That those two fire ships could be abusing, for example, the farmers here to the bottom quite a bit easily, even those ones. So yeah, some further moments and places on the map where they could be useful. Okay, this hasn't changed for a long time. And still the classic same situation. Apparently doesn't change there between the pikemen and the swordsmen. Just a good source of dead units all the time. And all the way to the top, still gonna be having some good resources. But with the towers coming forward for FreakinAndy, it's getting more and more difficult for SaladEsc to be holding on onto his res. Okay, last second conversion before he was actually stabbed to death in there. I guess he can be probably considering it a success. The monk. And that's of course the tower. And further conversions could be also immediately coming up. So that seems to be going well for him. Whereas to the south, we apparently haven't entirely had all that much of a serious attempt number 2. But we are losing tons of villages here for escape. Can say it now, really, the dead bodies here are littering the ground. Absolutely everybody. That's nothing. That is nothing. Just gonna get in a bit deeper to further block, I guess, the food economy from escape. And this is gonna be most of the army for blue. No, yeah. 18 spearmen currently, or pikemen. Can see 27 in total for him. But only 53 bills. 143 for FreakinAndy at this point is getting, I'm thinking, more and more evident that Andy is not entirely going to be wanting to let this go anymore, though Cataphracts even, and light cavalry. But it also maybe could be interesting if we had another kind of like prolonged comeback of another hour, as we had practically by Andy. Maybe it is a possibility, maybe there's a kind of chance of that. It seems like that right now FreakinAndy is just gonna be controlling everything with the towers. You can see he's dropping them absolutely everywhere. So that if there's gonna be any kind of issue, he can be hiding the villages. And much more important, he can be having some also decent like shooting power. So that even some kind of singular fire ships can be pulled down, as it seems like it. Of course, the town center is already gone on further important res on the top corner. No, and really the opportunities are growing quite a bit shorter for SaladEsc, where to even get any kind of further mineral resources is gonna be down to literally some 6 and 8, about like 1400 gold here that is gonna be having available, as even the one to the top is definitely more than sketchier. So he really just like doesn't have anything at all. Even just life resources, like non-fossils, are going to be at this point quite a bit hard to get, I guess, for him. Or non-minerals. Not non-fossils. We are not getting any kind of oil here or gas. That's for different games. No, and that's the Imperial Age. Look at that, 1 hour and 23 minutes. Imperial Age for FreakinAndy. Economically fairly solid, double levels. can say it now, cavalry is gonna be on the first level, infantry as well. Not entirely too deep on that. Currently for SaladEsc. That was, by the way, for SaladEsc. Whereas for FreakinAndy with the Dravidian, he's gonna be even a bit deeper. Missing just the second farm, but he is gonna be not on gill nets, interestingly. He has already apparently removed all the fishing boats. Or fishing... No, well, yeah, he has removed the fishing boats in there. With infantry upgraded well for the Urumi swordsman. You can see cavalry does have at least some basic because of sharing it with the infantry. Also right now they decided to be having the first cavalry armor. For some light cav, I'm imagining. But well, with the castle rate battle already destroyed to the left, that's gonna be at least some kind of small victory for Salad. But of course on the villages the victory can't be entirely said that it's been achieved. No, and the problem is that the pikemen are just like so woefully inefficient unit and bad at absolutely everything besides killing cavalry, that even just the villages here building a castle within their purview are not gonna be stopped really in any kind of significant way. Or rather at all. Murder holes for FreakinAndy so that nobody can be even getting nearby, and well, the little armies. And now we're gonna be actually picking up relics. Maybe, I guess, better late than never, but it's already quite a bit late for that. That is already seriously late for all of it. Oh, he didn't get the next one. That would be actually possibly the last hit in there to pull the castle down even. So that was somewhat lucky for FreakinAndy. And he's gonna be still able to get more and more, but nonetheless that's gonna be already the GG. No, and remember that 11 at about 30-40 minutes of the game time where FreakinAndy was gonna run for his life. Yep, he knew what he was doing. And his perseverance paid off, and he's gonna be therefore right now starting the match with 1-0, but damn, was it a tough fight. And SaladEsc, great beginning by him, but unfortunately wasn't able to finish it in full. So, let's therefore have a quick look into the post. And then it's gonna be time for game number 2. So the upgrades, one last check. Nothing probably new here. Heated shots, for example, even there, making sense, considering, of course, the water warfare as well. And for SaladEsc, also nothing entirely too new here. Everything pretty standard. Maybe I was kind of hoping to be seeing some Dromon, but yep, not this time. Maybe next time. Villages at the end, 31 and 138. 1646 on the military. You can see some tons of upgrades coming for FreakinAndy and the Imperial Age. Last infantry armor, squires, siege elephants, chemistry, and also getting himself right now the blast furnace. Wait, what? Blast furnace he doesn't have. Oh, because I'm a SaladEsc. Okay, that's actually for FreakinAndy. Yeah, of course. And of course the Dravidian they do have. I was kind of confused when I'm switched into the Byzantine, but let's have a look therefore into the statistics. And by now it was the last 20 minutes. We're going into FreakinAndy bit by bit, so it's gonna be of course in his favor. Practically everything, even the huge units killed. And on the economies, that will be there for 3,500. That will be there for 36,700. That's gonna be 4-4. That will be 4-4, 5,963, 800 to the bottom. And that will be what? 21,700. So therefore 9,500. 9,500 resources more for FreakinAndy, which frankly isn't really anything important. Would be much more important and interesting to see the progress through time. What kind of differences were there? 1 hour Imperial, 126 Imperial here, and 99% map explored. Just like the corner to the right, with that 1 gold mine. That is the only thing that he didn't see, if I'm not mistaken. And you can see 5 relics captured a bit later already, all of them, but yet at least some of them before, and allowing him to be getting 5,000 extra gold, which is also fairly important. Yeah, fairly certain that he just didn't see Oh, he did.
Hey.
He actually did discover it in the end, the very corner of the map. So yeah, take that back. At least I checked. He did find the extra gold mine that was still available. Guess maybe he just kinda didn't see that for the bottom corner. He right now can't be checking anymore. Fog of War, so therefore he didn't see there. And right part now also the under fire. No well, nonetheless. Let's therefore call it a GG.